how is social entrepreneurship different from social activism, charity, or CSR? Because we have been hearing a lot about CSR. And most importantly, in our economic system today, why is social entrepreneurship needed and so important? So let's move to the intellectual juicy part without making it too intellectual. Social entrepreneurship, I don't know, for how long have you been hearing this term? Maybe, when do you think social entrepreneurship was created? Maybe in Lebanon for the last 5 or 10 years, we didn't hear that term before. In the USA or others, the term has been used maybe for the last 20 years. But you know, some theoretician, you're going to be surprised, they trace it back, the origin of social entrepreneurship, till more than 200 years ago. Who has heard of Adam Smith? Okay, great. Absolutely. So, I can see, I'm relieved that all of us have taken the economics course. So, I can, as a small reminder, the invisible hand of Adam Smith, we have all heard, if not read, The Wealth of Nations. So in 1776, in The Wealth of Nations, I'm going to go to a small part of what Adam Smith actually said, because it's directly related to social entrepreneurship. He said that usually, by directing our industry in such a manner, he is speaking about the man only intends his own gain, so self-centered, and in many cases led by an invisible hand to promote an end which was no part in his intention. So by pursuing his own interest, he frequently promotes that of society more effectively than when he really intends to promote it. What does this mean? That we address ourselves not for the sake of humanity, but for self-love, and we never talk to them of our own necessity, but of their advantages. And this actually works. By being self-centered, we are being social entrepreneurs. It has been working for the 250 last year. So maybe you can say that if we want to talk about self-interest, I have a very nice young lady to help me write some of the keywords. So in the edifice of self-interest, so if you don't mind writing self-interest, this is all the paradox. Social entrepreneurship started by the self-interest mentioned by Adam Smith in 1776. So, in this self-interest, what do we have under it? We have a will to maximize profit, so maximize profit. The second most important thing is we want to capture value just for our own self, so capture value. And the third one in our self-interest is IP protection. IP, which is intellectual property protection. So we just want to keep it for ourselves. This edifice described here has been working like a charm, really. And it's created economies of scale and sustainability. So you're going to tell me, okay, why do we need social entrepreneurship then? Since it's only pure self-interest. Well, because despite there is some kind of malaise, if we can say in French, there's still a generalized feeling that something's wrong, you know? And for this I will focus on two main issues. First, the current system is not true to human nature. Can we just only thinking about our own self all the time? Plus the system, it creates a gap that needs to be addressed. So, again, since you all are acquainted to Adam Smith, and since we've been talking about Adam Smith as the same Adam Smith, 16 years before saying actually what he said in his famous Invisible Hand, he said something even more important in the theory of moral sentence. And I'm going to quote it to you. He said, in 1759, how selfish man may be supposed, there are evidently some principles in his nature which interest him in the fortune of others, and render their happiness necessary to him, though he derives nothing from it except the pleasure of seeing it. So this is very important, as it proves that human nature is both self-interested, like we've seen, and also others-interested. So, which brings us to the question, can we build an economic system truer to our humanity? Well, if we have now this first edifice of self-interest, if underneath it we drive another edifice which we call others-interest, then in these three we have identified the first concept. We wanted to maximize profit. And the other's interest, what would be instead of maximizing profits? What do you think? Very good. The value is actually maximizing social impact. So in that case, we say instead of profit, it's the social impact. So maximize social impact. The value is the impact generated for society. And in self-interest, we have seen the second concept is to capture value. In the other's interest edifice, it would be, instead of just capturing value, creating the value. So create value. And the third also concept in self-interest, which is just being IP protective and trading secrets, what it would be in the other's interest, it would be sharing knowledge, open source, being very open about it. So, sharing knowledge, yes. And open source, come on, open source. Because it's equally as important to being open. Once we have that very clearly two edifices, the self-interest edifice versus the other's interest edifice, do you think we are now in a position to identify a definition for social entrepreneurship? I think it's rather clear that social entrepreneurship emerges clearly here in the definition as a business solution to societal problems built up in what? Self-interest or others' interest? Of course. So then, we can state the definition, if you like. Social entrepreneurship is a business solution to societal problems built upon others' interests. You're going to tell me, okay, that's a great definition, but what do we need? Well, because, of course, there are gaps in the current capitalist system. If you want to just stick to self-interest, it's not going to work. Self-interest is not effective in the presence of positive externalities. And we have many opportunities for value creation, the concept which you just mentioned, to society, which remain unexplored, and it would be really pity to leave it like this. And of course, governments should intervene in all of that, and they often do, by providing public goods for which the benefit to society is well recognized. However, even when governments interfere, they fail to provide goods or services that benefit both the segments of the population. And this is why social entrepreneurs are so badly needed. So, in a way, if you want, the social entrepreneurship is a second invisible hand of Adam Smith, which lead to the in this economy to efficient outcomes based on individuals pursuing their others' interest in a decentralized way. Where do you think we find social entrepreneurs usually? Is it more likely to find them in New York or Paris This is very true because usually social entrepreneurs are more likely to operate activities where localized positive externalities benefit disadvantaged populations, because of course these disadvantaged populations often remain neglected. So, however, we can have social entrepreneurship for advantaged population as long as there are neglected positive externalities. So even in very rich areas, there are still identified problems untapped which need a sustainable solution. And this is where social entrepreneurs actually intervene. So we have clearly stated what is social entrepreneurship, but what is not social entrepreneurship? Let me ask you, for instance, let's say if we reduce a behavior that causes negative externality using political pressure, this is not social entrepreneurship. If we have a disadvantaged population just for the sake of helping, this is closer to charity, and this is not really social entrepreneurship. Which leads us to say, you're going to tell me, okay, I wasn't too sure what was actually the difference between charity, because usually I say, I'm social entrepreneur. Okay, you're just a philanthropic person, or you just like to make gifts, or to make charity to the deprived person. This is a misconception which we are often faced with. So we need to dive a bit with what is the difference between social entrepreneurship and charity. You might like to have another today. So the first one is to identify social entrepreneurship. The second one is social entrepreneurship versus charity. Theologians have been able to identify the difference in 6 aspects. First, social structure. In the social structure, charities exist to redistribute income from those who have to those who do not have, to the have-nots. Whereas social entrepreneurship role in social value creation is to be a change agent through innovation and mutually beneficial exchanges. So the first difference is in social structure. One, social structure, as I stated. Second difference, 2, is purpose. In purpose, charity works within a given structure in society, whereas the social entrepreneurship or social entrepreneur just creates opportunity for structural change. 3, financing. What is usually in financing? I mean, you give money in charity, just immediate alleviate of suffering. That's it. Whereas social entrepreneurs improve social conditions on a continuous basis. You make it sustainable. 4, sustainability. Charity is primarily financed through donations. Today, if I give a donation to CSR and Rami Group, that's it. I might not give next year, etc. If they just are counting on my donation, they might close as well. Whereas the social entrepreneurship purpose is to improve social condition continuously. So I don't just, there is a very well-known saying, I don't, if you're a fisherman, I just don't give you a fish or pay you the price of a fish. I teach you how to fish so that you are able to catch a fish on a daily basis. So, and the next aspect, the fifth one is time frame. Again, charity, as we say, we keep on repeating sustainability, but it's at the core of every single concept. It's relying on donor funding as just a vehicle for income distribution. Whereas by definition, social entrepreneurship is sustainable as it uses a business model. So business model is key for the social entrepreneurship. Last but not least, sixth one is enterprise, since we're talking about social enterprise. So charity is designed to alleviate immediate suffering. The response is quick, most of the time very efficient, but unfortunately also pretty much short-lived. Whereas social entrepreneurship can be short-lived, true, but it might as well run for decades, just like any other enterprise. So social enterprise can be fully functional, like a full-fledged enterprise. Which leads us to say that what makes a commercial enterprise powerful can make a social enterprise powerful as well. So rest assured, for those who want to make money for a cause, you will not necessarily live poor. Your ultimate cause can be the good welfare of society or others' interest, and you can still be very successful, or at least live very decently. Because if self-interest is powerful motivator for distributed economic action, also others' interest is a powerful motivator for social entrepreneurship activities. So, to wrap up, we can say that social entrepreneurship involves a non-dogmatic approach to problem resolutions and takes advantage of the varied institutional mechanism afforded by society. The central unit of analysis for social entrepreneurship is a solution and its underlying business model. And government, it's very important also to have the support for them to promote social entrepreneurship, as social entrepreneurship will unleashes decentralized mechanism that increases the dynamic efficiency. And business leaders, whether they are social entrepreneurs or not, can learn a lot from innovative solutions developed by social entrepreneurs. So, I would like to, with these things, I would like to thank you for, I hope that I did not contribute in making you sleep again. And I would like to end with a word from Thomas Paine, who said that as social entrepreneurs, we have the power within to build the world anew. So I hope that you, present in this room, will be able, in these 2 days, to build the world anew. Thank you very much for